Ladies and gentlemen, James Bennett has just run his 100th 100-miler! And that is not something I think I would ever thought I would hear myself saying. So I'm not really sure where to start with this presentation. So for the first time in history, I might actually be short of words. But I think let's start with perspective, shall we? So let's try and put this into perspective. So we run in a very niche area of the running community, and the running community is an absolutely phenomenal community, and everybody's heard of the London Marathon and the Manchester Marathon. Not so many people have heard of some of the smaller marathons, and when you get into that niche area of multi-marathon running, you're in a very small number of people in the running community in this country. And then, perspective, people run 100 miles in one go, which is insane. So you've got a niche within a niche, and most people have never even heard of 100-mile racing if you go out to the wider community. And then you've got someone like James who does his first 100-miler, Rachel and Travis, back in 2016, so you probably got them to blame for all of this. So back in 2016, the Samphire Challenge, I believe. So on the 16th of July 2016, it all started with the first 100-miler, which puts you in a really, really tiny niche area of the running community. And then, for whatever reason, James, and you can probably explain yourself in a minute, you went on to run another 99 of them. And, I mean, if there was ever a sharp edge of a niche of a niche of a niche that nobody's ever heard of, then you are it. And I'm going to carry on with the perspective, because James today, in completing his 100th 100-miler, 100.4 miles, I should probably add, he's just run around this track, becomes the 32nd person in the world that we know of to do it. Only just as well, because the 31st person only did it a couple of weeks ago, but the 32nd person in history, and the 4th ever British person to do it. So 100 100-milers worldwide, there's only 32 people that have ever done that. There is a club, believe it or not. Of course, there's always a club, and I know that you'll be joining that club, I think.
On Monday.
So, already been in touch with them, so you will be
Tuesday, bank holiday.
Yeah, bank holiday, you might have to wait till Tuesday. And as everybody knows, when somebody completes a journey to 100, which is, I'm going to use the word normally, but there's not really anything normal about it, which is usually 100 half marathons or 100 marathons or 100 ultra marathons, but never before 100 100-milers. I like to turn that journey into a unique pin number, and that's the number of days that have elapsed. So the number of days that it has taken you, James, and I need to get this right because we need to factor in that it's taken you just under 24 hours to do this race, is 3214. So it's quite a nice number actually. So 3,214 days, which in English currency is 8 years, 9 months and 18 days. So a little under 9 years to do 100 miles. But let's go back to the very beginning and talk about perspective, shall we? Because since COVID, which was not 9 years ago, it was only about 5 years ago, you've done 80 of those 100 miles. And in the last 4 years, in fact less than 4 years, you've done 79 of them. Perspective. So the perspective on that is 1.7 100-milers every month, or 100-miler every 2 and a bit weeks. So about every 2 weeks and 3 days, you've done a 100-miler for 4 years. Most people take months to recover from one. You're recovering from one every couple of weeks and then cracking on with the next one. And again, within that arena of kind of multi-marathon running, and most people behind the cameras have done a lot of multi-marathon running, we all know that actually the running bit is not always the toughest bit. Quite often the toughest bit is the logistics, is getting from one race to the next. And that's tough when you're running marathons in 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. But when you're running 100-milers, which are taking you the best part of an entire day and an entire night, to go from one to the next every couple of weeks is almost unfathomable, James. So there's not really much more that I can say. We have, of course, got some accolades to to welcome you to the 100 miler club. I'm going to start with the ultra wings, the ultra marathon club wings. So these are in a lovely green and silver. So there's a set of those, James, just to say, thank you ever so much for choosing to celebrate what is a monumentous day with us here at the track. And we've got the most people that we've actually ever had who are still here at this point. and again, back to this kind of perspective, the salubrious London marathons and Manchester marathons that have tens of thousands of people, we've got what? 15 people here. So, you've run all day and all night, and 15 people have stayed around to see you complete what is probably one of the most outstanding achievements on the planet.
Yep.
And again, it's back to perspective, isn't it? But you are surrounded by friends and family and some of the people that have probably run with you the most in the world.
Yes.
And that's all about perspective. So, and all of those people, I suspect, and an awful lot of people who have been here throughout the last 24 hours but aren't here right now, have put a signature on that number. You probably can't see that from over there, but that is jam-packed with well wishes for the day, James. So that is for you. And finally, we're on a running track. So it would seem appropriate that we have a green 100 ultra marathon baton to pass over to you. Assume whatever position you like, James. Do whatever you like now. Are you ready? There we go. A perfect handover. There's a stand to go with that. Ladies and gentlemen, James Bennett, 100 milers, outstanding, round of applause!
Excellent stuff, mate. Well done.
Brilliant. Take it back.
That is amazing.
Well done, mate.
Congratulations.
Just to say a few words, I'd say the whole point, so I started the journey way back in, whatever it was, 2016, July 2016. And then I tested myself then when actually I decided to have a sleep and then did another marathon, as you do. And that's why I just got the bug for just ultra distance. However, when I got my 100 ultras, what was the Guinness World Record, I thought, what's next? And I thought, let's try 100 milers, and that's where I got my bug. But the whole point I do all this is not just for me, but I want to share my love for the sport, but also inspire others to show actually anything's possible. And that's my belief. Is actually I'm doing this for everyone to show actually just go out there, give it a go, and actually you never know what happened. Never give up. But no, just I want to say thank you to everyone who's shared the journey with me. It's been an amazing journey, what will continue, and hopefully, it will inspire people just to think actually I can do this and just give it a go. You never know what will happen. So no, thank you everyone.
Well done.
Well done, mate.
Brilliant.
Thanks, Gavin.